Have you ever had that feeling where you're sitting in a totally quiet room, you're all alone, and yet it feels incredibly crowded?
Crowded from the inside.
Exactly. It's not, noise from the outside. It's this relentless traffic inside your own head. You're trying to make a decision or just feel something, and it's less like thinking and more like a full-blown committee meeting has been called to order.
It's such a universal human experience, isn't it? That internal dissonance. We often talk about this feeling of being populated, of holding many different parts at once.
And they all have such strong opinions.
Oh, absolutely. There's always that one voice, the critic, that's saying, you should have said something. Why do you always let them walk all over you?
Right. And then before you can even take a breath, another one jumps in, the peacekeeper.
The mediator.
Yes, saying, no, better to keep the peace. Don't rock the boat. Conflict it's dangerous.
And then kind of lurking underneath, there's that whisper of doubt.
You're not ready for this. Just wait another year. You're not good enough.
And while all of that is happening, all that noise, there's this quiet ache, this really deep, quiet question that barely gets heard.
What do I actually want?
Exactly. Who am I beneath all these voices? And we tend to think something is wrong with us, that we're fragmented or broken. But these aren't pathologies. They're echoes, active presences that we created a long time ago for a very good reason.
So for this deep dive, then, the goal isn't to find some kind of, magical silent mind.
Not at all.
It sounds like it's more about learning to tell the difference, to discern whose voice is whose.
That's the word, discernment. The work is learning how to be the awareness that can hold all of these parts, the critic, the peacekeeper, the scared one, without collapsing into any single one of them, to stop mistaking the chorus for the conductor.
I want to unpack that because it feels like a really profound shift, this idea that every inner voice, even the absolute harshest, most vicious inner critic, is actually trying to protect us.
It is. It's a massive reframing.
It turns this inner enemy into, a misunderstood guardian or something.
A guardian, yes. A survival strategy. To really get it, you have to look at where they came from. These voices, they weren't just born yesterday. They were crafted, usually in childhood, in these moments of high stress, to keep us safe, to maintain connection, or to avoid a rupture in a relationship. We absolutely need to survive.
Okay, but here's the question that I know I struggle with, and I'm sure others do too. If that critic is trying to protect me, why does it feel so damaging, so abusive? How can I possibly trust a voice that tells me I'm worthless?
That is the crucial question. Because the protective mechanism, over time, it calcifies. It can become hostile. Think of it like a guard dog that was trained to bite when it was a tiny puppy.
Okay.
Now, years later, the dog is still biting everyone who comes to the door, even the person delivering food. The voice is stuck in a past crisis. Maybe the only way you could feel safe as a kid was to be perfect, or small, or agreeable. So that protective voice became the enforcer of those rules.
I feel that so clearly. You internalize the rules of your environment. When I go to set a boundary now, I can almost physically hear a voice whispering, good people don't say no. It's not even my thought, it's an echo.
And it's an active presence, not just a memory. And that's the problem. These strategies, these old rules of don't upset anyone, don't ask for too much, don't feel that deeply, they keep us stuck. They keep us living in the noise of the past.
And that noise is right there in that split second before you speak. You want to say this hurts me or I need help, but in a flash, something yanks you back.
Don't make it awkward.
Don't make it awkward, just deal with it. You're literally negotiating with ghosts in real time.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting because we're trying to think our way out of it. We're arguing with the voices in our head, but we forget that they aren't just thoughts. They are embodied. They live in our nervous system.
Right, and this is where it gets so interesting for me because our body it's already in the conversation, isn't it?
Always.
You can actually map these voices physically. As you talk, I can feel my own jaw start to tighten up. That's the critic.
The critic, yeah.
And the pleaser. That feels more like a softening in the shoulders, maybe making yourself smaller.
Or the anxious one that just ties your stomach in a knot and makes your breath all shallow. The body is the guide.
But we get trapped trying to silence them.
Exactly. We try to meditate them away or journal them away, when the real issue isn't their volume, it's that we haven't actually listened to what they are guarding. What's happening is a break in what we call the contact cycle, an interruption.
Okay, can you give us an example of that? The interruption of the contact cycle, something we can really feel?
Sure. So the cycle is just how we meet and complete an experience. Imagine you're at work, you share an idea, and someone just dismisses it. You feel a surge of maybe irritation or anger. It's a legitimate energy mobilizing.
Right, to set a boundary or defend yourself.
Yes, but before that feeling can fully rise, before you can say, hey, I'd like to finish my point, a voice cuts in.
Don't be so dramatic. It's not a big deal.
Nice people don't get angry at work. And in that moment, the feeling gets censored. The energy that was moving toward expression, it just collapses. It gets swallowed or stored or frozen. The experience didn't complete its arc.
So that voice, the one that censored the feeling, it's a symptom. It shows up because the feeling was pushed down.
Precisely. It's trying to manage that leftover, unexpressed energy. And you know the cycle's been interrupted because you walk away feeling thin, hollow, like you just went through the motions, but something vital got locked away. You're living from the neck up.
Which explains why just thinking about it doesn't work. You have to create space for that frozen energy to thaw.
And move responsibly.
And this feels like the crucial shift, moving from being possessed by the voice, I am a failure, to facing it, to being able to say, here's the part of me that believes I will fail. That's differentiation.
Differentiation. Seeing the part, but knowing you are not the part. You are the one who is aware of the part. And we use the body to do this, which brings us to, well, the first practice. It's a phenomenological exploration.
Okay, that sounds a little jargony. What does that actually mean? What do I do?
It just means you drop your attention out of the story in your head and into your body. So the voice is screaming, you need to work harder. Instead of arguing, you ask, where does that live in me right now?
Okay.
And you find it, maybe it's a tightness in your chest, an ache behind your eyes, and you breathe into that physical sensation. You let it speak in the language of the body without adding any more story to it.
Notice the tension. I don't try to fix it. I just acknowledge it's there.
You just describe what is. The jaw is tight, the breath is shallow. And when you stay with that, without judgment, something amazing happens.
Yeah.
The surface level attack, the criticism, it starts to soften. And it reveals the deeper fear it was guarding. That's the aha moment.
So the voice yelling, you're not good enough, might actually be protecting a much younger part that's just terrified of being seen.
Exactly. It's really whispering, I'm so scared that if they really see me, they'll hurt me.
Or the one that's always insisting on perfection.
Might really be saying, if I stop working for 1 second, I'll be abandoned. I'll be all alone. You're not trying to argue with the voice anymore. You're finally witnessing the fear it's holding.
And once you witness that, you can move into what you call enactment, bringing the part to the table. This sounds like something you might do in therapy. Is it something you can do on your own?
It can be a very profound personal practice. Absolutely. Enactment, you can think of it like the two-chair method. It's just about giving that part a literal space, a voice, not to debate it, but to let it complete what it was never allowed to say.
Could you walk us through an example, something really relatable?
Of course. Let's take that classic conflict. The inner workaholic versus the part of you that is just exhausted.
I know that one well.
So you sit in one chair and you decide to speak as the workaholic. You let yourself feel that energy. Maybe you lean forward, you clench your jaw, you speak quickly, and you give it its voice. I push you like this because I truly believe if we stop, everything will fall apart. We'll be seen as worthless. I'd rather you be successful than rested.
Wow. That's the protector's truth. And then you move to the other chair.
Yes. And you sit as your grounded adult self, the awareness, and you respond with compassion. Thank you. I see how hard you've been working to protect me from failure for decades. I really do. But I'm an adult now. I can handle being seen. I can even handle failing. I need you to know I'm choosing rest, and I will be okay.
That conversation, it changes everything. You're not being driven by that part anymore. You're relating to it.
You're relating to it. And what you realize is that these parts we pushed away, they all carry a gift. The anxious part holds our deep capacity to care. The critic holds our integrity. The inner rebel holds our need for authenticity. The problem was never the part itself. It was its isolation.
So what does this look like day to day? The goal isn't to make the committee silent, but to have a conscious relationship with it.
A conscious relationship. And the biggest challenge there is to resist what we call confluence.
Confluence.
It's when the boundaries blur, when you merge with the feeling. You don't say anxiety is here. You say, I am anxious. You become the feeling. There's no space.
And awareness is what creates that space. It creates the pause. It restores what you call responsibility.
Right. Not responsibility as in a burden, but responsibility. The ability to choose your response from your whole present self instead of from an old automated survival program. You see the feeling, you feel it, but you are the awareness that holds it.
So the voices, They don't go away. They just change their job. They stop being enemies and they become messengers.
Messengers that remind us of our needs, grief that needs to be felt, a desire to be held, a boundary that needs to be set. The quiet miracle here is that when you finally turn toward these parts with curiosity instead of contempt, they soften because they've finally been witnessed. Their job is done.
Healing then is just reclaiming yourself, voice by voice, until your inner world stops feeling like a battlefield and starts feeling like a home.
And that's the freedom. You become the space around the voice, not the voice itself.
And you find you have a choice. You can feel that old pull of obligation, feel the tension in your body, and then, gently, you can choose something new.
The voices will return, but not as proof that you're broken. They return as evidence of your depth, a reminder that there is still feeling there, still life. But now, you have a way back. You know how to find the ground beneath the noise.
So the invitation isn't to wait until the meeting is over to start living.
The invitation is to learn to live with them, and also beyond them. To learn to be the sky that holds everything, the thunder, the critic, the rain of sadness, and the quiet stillness of your own presence.
So the next time you feel that inner tug of war,
pause, just for a second. Maybe put a hand on your chest and just breathe into the tension. And instead of asking which voice is right, ask a different question. Ask, who am I right now beneath all of this?
and you might not get an answer in words. Maybe just a slight softening, a little more space. The most revolutionary act isn't silencing the chaos, it's learning to dance with it. With grace and with the quiet courage of being fully, messily human. If you can just hear one soft voice say, "I'm here, you've come home,"